God, yeah, I look good. Woo! Here we are, the beautiful beach in Montenegro during February. It's cold. It's cold. It's still beautiful.
It's cold as fuck. It's like literally freezing, maybe 40 degrees in here.
A cold plunge is so good for you, though. I feel so healthy.
Yeah.
Just going in the water, just feeling my best.
He's looking like a Roman god right now. Look at that. We are here in Montenegro. We're having a fucking great time. We just went into the ocean. It's cold as fuck, but we are living. We are living fucking true esoteric life. This is the vision quest. The quest is to live your best life, but to not just to do it selfishly, to have everyone partake in that beautiful experience. And that experience is life. All of it. All of it. Me and Ian are in the town of Ulcij in Montenegro. It's the morning, start of our day. We're gonna go to the museum.
This stone is also called the red stone by the locals because this type of stone does not naturally exist in the area. It is believed to have been imported by Venice. It is known that it served the Pasha for mounting his horse, according to Dr. Professor Pavle Mihovic. The stone was also used for displaying slaves that were being sold at the time.
Wow. What kind of slaves?
So, back in the day, this was a big trading...
Sex slaves?
Pirate and slave port.
Yeah.
All throughout here, you would get, people coming and going, bringing their goods and services, also slaves. So it seems that...
Have a seat on that rock. Let's see how you look on that stone.
We might be looking at an auction block here. But in old times...
How much would you pay for Ian, my dear viewer? How much would you pay? I'll give him a cool $20 for Ian.
Man, shit, that's way too much. That's way too little for me. I wear more than that, dog.
Come on, my asshole is so way more. My name is Eustace. Or rather, my name is Jacob Foley, and I'm the author of the book The Rebels of Rome on Amazon. Get it out now. What happened to the ice cream store? The ice cream store closed?
Everything is closed now during winter.
Oh, okay.
They will reopen at May of the season.
So any description? Any description?
They are in this.
Oh, okay.
So everyone has it in English. It's the
Great, great.
Cool.
so from prehistoric, Illyrian times, Roman and medieval.
Great. Beautiful.
Yeah, piano if you want to play.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I can play. Here, record this.
Perfect.
You have cold
So much.
Yes.
No. Enjoying the sun.
You do sports?
Yeah.
Is this two?
Petro.
right here. We're right, just like right there, where the tip of my pointer finger is. And so this is the original ancient city of Ulcij. We're in Ulcij.
Yes, this is the ancient city of Ulcij. And I was saying that it's a very strategic port. It's a very strategic village overlooking the hills behind it and overlooking the vast Mediterranean Sea. So there would be lords, kings, people of, with much capability, much power and status, that would occupy this village here.
So what were you saying about the Atlanteans?
So my view of history is a little less traditional and more alternative.
Yeah.
So
the ancient
from an
Atlanteans.
alternative point of view of history, you can view things from the start, which is antiquity, right? Which is the birth of civilization. Or if you go further into more an alternative or religious point of view, it's the rebirth of civilization after
the flood. Yeah.
Right?
So what we believe, just to give context, is that before the flood there was like the Watchers, and there was the Nephilim, which is all biblically accurate. And during that time, in which the Watchers were leading mankind, and leading civilization, the society was just way more advanced, right? There was just huge megaliths, huge monoliths. There were things that we've never seen, even in this age, even in this modern age with all our advanced technology right now. And that was all kind of washed away during the flood. And then we kind of regressed like a lot, back to the Bronze Age, basically, back to using like crude tools and stuff. So, and what you were saying about the Atlantean civilization in the context of this city, this coastal city of Ulcij.
Yeah, so if we talk about history since antiquity, then the first people in the so-called kind of like Neolithic age, which is post-flood, but right, they call that in modern history in an anthropological sense the birth of modern civilization, farming civilization.
This would be like 13,000 years ago, right?
Yes, and that's a long while ago. So you have kind of nomadic peoples that are going and settling and developing kind of like just new civilizations on top of historic land that has been changed, right? And but you have still that wisdom, and you have these bloodlines of these kingly bloodlines that are going and
you're gonna have remnants
starting civilization.
Remnants of the old world before the flood, with that old knowledge.
Yes. And if we look at this town in the context of that greater historical story, then the first peoples to settle this town would be the ancient kingly peoples, the Atlanteans, so-called, right? And they are the most powerful during this time, so they take the most powerful and strategic ports. And this was clearly one of them, right? Great for fishing, great for just trade, great for overlooking all of the surrounding land. And it's not that big of an area, so the people who are going to be occupying that are going to be the most powerful, right?
But to play devil's advocate here, why? What proof is there for the Atlanteans doing that? What if this is just completely Illyrian?
So I'm talking about the progenitors of Illyrians, right? The Proto-Indo-European steppe.
You think they were Atlantean?
That's my opinion. That gets into alternative history, right? And that's why I gave that context before I started speaking. But if you wanted to be a little more politically correct, then you could say Proto-Indo-European, right? So that those peoples, the most powerful in the land, would go and occupy that area, right, that port, and then those groups of Proto-Indo-Europeans that make up the ancient groups that make up the main kind of like European bloodlines. One of them were the Illyrians, which were just a powerful, just subset of these powerful, Proto-Europeans at the time. And those were the first kind of written occupants of this port. And right here, we can see like Albanian Illyrian remnants in some of these artifacts. pottery with different designs. And this is over the span of like many thousands of years. So I'm giving a very rough alternative, point of view of this history. But still, you have this beautiful birth of just a very powerful and intelligent civilization here.
So when we're on the topic of history, an increasingly more important distinction to make, I think the most important distinction there is to make when talking about history, is to recognize that the current scientific consensus that we came from like these apes and we evolved slowly throughout thousands and thousands, maybe millions of years, is kind of in light of, Göbekli Tepe and the pyramids and the water erosion and the Sphinx, all the works of Graham Hancock, which is becoming increasingly harder to refute by the mainstream scientists, because obviously they don't want you to know the truth. The truth will set you free, and they can't have that, because we need to be slaves for their society. We don't come from apes. We're not that. We are half alien, half ape, and that's what it says in the Bible. And now the Bible is probably the most important book of all mankind's history. And if you don't believe some aspects of the Bible, which has been just in multiple times in the Bible, it has been said. If you don't believe that, then what can you believe, right? So, yeah, and before the flood, there was a civilization that existed which is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Their technology was more advanced, their probably religiosity and their spirituality was probably way better, and it was more conducive to the real kind of reality that we live in. And we need to find a way to go back to that, and then beyond that, right? We can go even better. Why should we be confined to living in this fucking prison planet in which the Matrix, the control of the Matrix permeates our lives? Why do we need to have that? We need to look towards something better. So that's what I think about when I think about history in general. That's like the big picture for me, which I think is really important.
Yes, of course. And that's why when you see these artifacts, and when you learn about the history of these towns, you see a glimpse of a much older past.
Yeah, and a much greater past. Look at some of the beautiful architecture that we see. And if we go outside a bit later in the video, we'll show you more. But in many ways, we have regressed, despite the seemingly incredible inventions of the modern age, like the smartphone or Ethernet. We've regressed in a lot of ways. And beauty is no longer coveted. No longer do we try to imitate God and His divine perfection through art.
Principles of connection to a greater past, a greater story, should not be, viewed as some sort of kind of pseudo-scientific ideology, right?
Yeah.
And modern history subjugates your
worldview,
all-expansive conscious mind into a place of very narrow limitation. That anthropology, as viewed as a modern science, forces you into the box of the scientific method, which is that things need to be tested and proven, and proven through the scientific method, which is a very limited field of perception, in order to be labeled as the absolute truth of everything, that it is. And that's not all bad. Scientific method is good, but when you need to understand something so grand, something that transcends the boundaries of space and time, which is like the supreme truth of who you are, why you are here, how this reality came to actualize, and where we are going, that cannot be so stupidly and simply understood with such a narrow way of thinking.
Well, the thing about that, I actually disagree with you there, because the scientific method is capable of observing some of these things, but they don't do the experiments. They don't do those tests because they're afraid of what they'll show, right? And what they'll prove. There was a CIA experiment done in the 1960s and 70s in which they kind of experimented with the spirit world. And they used frequencies to disembody their consciousness and travel through astral planes. And that is a real study that was done with real results, if you would only look. So the scientific method, like science and the stuff that we talk about, don't preclude each other. In fact, they can reinforce each other. But science now has become so corrupted by money and become so corrupted by the system that if the results don't follow their paradigm, then they'll simply will never see the light of day. Back when I was doing research on mercury vortex engines and anti-gravity, I had come to realize that science has become too corrupted to care about the truth. Anyways, this is some shit that YouTube is gonna want to censor. This is too much. This might be too much. Yeah, these oranges look pretty good.